Good morning, KidsPoint. It's really good to see you today. We are talking this month about self-control. Self-control. Now, it's not like you have a remote control for yourself. That would be kind of weird. Like to walk, you'd have to like push forward on the control. And you're self-controlling what you do with the controller. However, self-control does mean that you do pay attention to what you're doing and how you're doing it, and sometimes you have to change the way you feel about a situation or what you want to do the appropriate thing. So self-control, someone help me read the definition of self-control this morning. How about you, Riley? That's right. Choosing to do what you should, even when you don't want to. Maybe some of you in here are like, you know what, I didn't want to come to KidsPoint today. That's fine with me. But you did. And that makes me really happy that you did what you should, even though you don't want to. And so, for me, one of the things that I have to work a lot on with self-control is my temper. All right? Sometimes I have a short temper with certain things, and I have to use my self-control to not get mad and have that be an outburst. And some of you know what I'm talking about. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more today. But before we do, we have a verse of the month. Our verse of the month is found in 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 3. Can someone help me read the verse of the month? Let's go with you, Lear. Godly. That's right. God's power has given us everything we need to lead a godly life. So, we're going to say this together because I want us to hide God's word in our heart, to learn from it, to use it when the enemy comes against us. So, let's say it together. God's power has given us everything we need to lead a godly life. 2 Peter 1:3. Very good. And our big idea today, like I said, think before you lose your temper. One of the things when I was growing up that made me lose my temper was my computer. Now, my computer when I was your age was much different than the computers we have. The computers we have are right in our pockets, like our cell phones, our iPads. Maybe you have a laptop at home too, or a desktop. Those computers, our cell phones today, are faster and better and smarter than the computers, like the big computers I had when I was growing up. When I was growing up, believe it or not, I was around when internet got invented. That's how old I am. Internet wasn't even invented when I was a kid. There wasn't even such a thing. There was no such thing as YouTube. There was no such thing as internet being on just all the time for free, everywhere. To get on the internet, you had to have a few special things. At your house, there had to be a thing called a phone cable. How many people in your house right now have a house phone that's like plugged into the wall? How many people have no idea what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's fair. There's more of you who don't know what I'm talking about than there are who have a house phone. I bet if you look for it, and your mom or dad might be able to show you, there's going to be a special outlet that looks a little funny, and it's like in the wall somewhere like in your kitchen or living room, most likely. And that little place is where you would plug in a phone. I think we have a picture of what these look like. So a phone like this would have a wire that came out the back, and on the back of that wire, you plug it into the wall. And wherever that wire went was all the farther you could go before you couldn't talk on the phone anymore. So let's say someone calls you and you needed to talk to them. Well, they would call your house, your mom or dad or brother or sister might pick up and say, for my house it would be, hi, you're calling the Mook house, can I help you? And they would say, can I speak to Jim? That's my dad. Sure. So I'd hold the phone and I'd go, Dad! Because I couldn't take him the phone because it was attached to the wire. And so dad would come over and grab the phone. And if it was an important conversation, you couldn't go, yeah, just 1 second, let me go into another room. Let me go outside. Nope. Everybody heard. Because you couldn't go anywhere. So if the phone was connected here, I could only go to here. This is it. I couldn't walk and talk outside. I couldn't go to my bedroom. So if your brother or sister had a girlfriend or boyfriend, and they called, hi. Hi, what are you doing? Yeah. It was good to see you. Everybody heard you talking mushy-cushy to your boyfriend or girlfriend on the phone because you couldn't go and hide. But here's the tricky thing. Internet all went through that phone line as well. And internet didn't just, right now our internet's always on, it's always working, it's always going. That's called wireless. But wired internet, the very first wired internet was slow. And you had to turn it on. And it made a weird sound. Here's what it sounded like to get on the internet when I was growing up. And it took this long too. We're not on the internet yet. Just trying to find it. And then finally, it would be off. And that sound would stop, and you'd be online. Congratulations. Now, that sound and how loud it was like always that loud and that sound. Like, so if you were trying, like, you might say, ooh, my mom and dad are in bed or they're in another room. I'm going to sneak on my tablet and I'm going to go to YouTube and watch videos and they're never going to know because it'll be quiet. Nope, no sneaking on the internet when you have that at your house, because if your mom and dad went to bed and you turned the internet on and it went, your mom and dad would be like, what in the world is happening downstairs? And so the thing is like a YouTube video today, you can just turn it on and it'll just play. It could be an hour long, Netflix would just play. To watch a 3-minute YouTube video on that internet took like an hour. It took an hour to load, and then you would watch it, and if for any reason you accidentally clicked refresh, or close, or you changed the screen, you'd have to start all the way over. And if you wanted to talk on the phone, and you were on the internet, you couldn't. You had to get offline to talk on the phone, shut the phone off, call back the internet, then you're back online. So I would get mad at the internet a lot when I was growing up. And now it's fast and it's nice, but even now I get mad. I'll be like, why is this taking 4 seconds to load? And I forget that it took 4 minutes before. It's easy, boys and girls. Let's go back to our main slide there, Luke. It's easy, boys and girls, to think before you lose your temper. Sometimes things happen and it's just immediate, like a burst. I'm mad, and I do something. What are some things that make you lose your temper? Raise your hand and say some things that make you lose your temper. Quinn.
Being patient.
Being patient sometimes is hard to do. So you're doing something and your grandma's like, do something different. Yeah, that can make you lose your temper. Peyton? Eating ice cream makes you mad?
No.
What makes you mad?
My mom telling me no every time.
So a parent saying no, even though you want to, but they're like no. Sometimes that can make you mad. You get mad? I've never seen you mad in my life. But you get mad at Luke. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, when someone's like, you gotta work harder, get to work, and you're like, what do you think I'm doing? Yeah. What's that?
When my brother doesn't share.
When someone doesn't share with you, those are really good answers. You guys can put your hands down. Now, we have a verse today from the Bible that's going to help us. Last week, remember, we talked about, hey guys. Remember last week we talked about King Solomon. And King Solomon was the wisest person in the Bible other than Jesus. And King Solomon wrote a book called Proverbs. And so he put this little nugget of wisdom in there, and it says this. It is better to be patient than to fight. It's better to control your temper than to take a city. Sometimes, boys and girls, I would say 99% of the time, when we lose our anger, something bad is going to happen. When we lose our temper, when we lash out, when something bad happens to us and we get mad and do something bad out of a reaction, it's almost always, 99% of the time, going to be wrong. But when something happens to us, we take a breath, and then we act, our patience will be better. And we'll act wisely. So I have another game for us today. It's called Temper Temper. And here's how the game works. 3 people are going to be here on the edge of the stage, and their goal is going to get to be to the end of the stage. However, on these cards are scenarios. And now the people that come up on stage, these things aren't what they do, although it's possible that all of us could do something on these cards. And if it's a good way, if we say, yeah, they kept their temper, that's good. They were patient. They had self-control. On the bottom, it might be a positive thing. They can go forward. But if on the card it says that they lost their temper, they're going to have to go back. All right? So I need 3 people who are pretty good readers, that are loud readers. So everyone can hear you read. Let's go with Weston.
Yes.
Quinn.
Yes.
Cassie. And so just go ahead and line up 1, 2, 3. And now, because I'm a generous person, I will let you all take 2 steps forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a card. You'll read the card. Don't say the consequence or the reward yet. And then we'll decide whether that was self-control or not, and then we'll read what it says.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey.
Can I tell them about the first 2 rounds?
No.
Okay.
All right, so Weston, I want you to go ahead and read your card loud. Everyone, listen, so we can decide whether it's self-control or not. If it's self-control, when I say is it self-control, you guys are going to give a thumbs up. No noise. And if it's bad, you're just going to put your thumbs down. Okay? So let's read the first scenario.
Your brother breaks your action figure. You yell at him and throw the broken action figure across the room.
All right, so your brother or sister takes your toy and breaks it. You yell and throw it across the room. Self-control, not self-control.
No.
I don't think that was self-control either. What happens? Oh, 2 steps back. Oh, back to the beginning. Oh, maybe Cassie will have better luck.
You talk back to your mom when she asks you to turn off your video. Move back to
You talk back to your mom when she says shut off the video game. Is that good self-control? No way. You don't talk back to your mom or dad. Move back 2 spaces. I'm sorry, Cassie. All right, maybe Quinn will be better.
You disobey your teacher because you think she's being unfair. Move back 2 spaces.
You disobey your teacher because you think she's being unfair. Is it ever okay to disobey your teacher when Is that self-control or bad self-control? Bad self-control. Sorry, Quinn, move it on back. Welcome to the starting line. Yes, you can start over. Right from right there, right at the starting line. All right. Remember, don't move, don't say the reward, just the beginning part. All right, Quinn, since you went last, go ahead and read this one.
Your sister is talking really loudly to her friend while you're trying to finish your homework. You politely ask her to keep it down so you can concentrate.
So you're at the table, you're doing your homework, your sister's just blah, 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 and you say politely, would you please stop talking so I can do my homework, maybe go to another room to keep going? Is that self-control? Yeah, because let's be honest, all of us immediately, if they're talking, probably be like, big wire! Right? That's what we want to say. But, what's the reward? 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. That's a good one. All right, Cass.
You help your coach away all the soccer balls after practice, even though you were frustrated about this.
So you were missing kicks at practice. You weren't hitting what you wanted to hit. But after practice, you still help the coach pick up all the soccer balls and clean up. Is that good self-control? Yeah. I think so too. What's the reward? Oh, nice. Move forward 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. All right, Weston.
When your mom asks,
All right, so your mom says, hey, we're getting ready for dinner. Can you pause your show and then go set the table? And you're like, okay. And you pause the show and you go set the table.
yeah,
You don't talk back, you don't. Is that good self-control? Yeah, that's really good self-control. What do you get? 3 spaces, perfect. You guys are all tied now. I'm going to be honest. I'm of rage the first part. But now, it's random. I know you will. All right, Weston, read yours.
you go to bed at your bedtime without being angry, even though your favorite show is on.
Your favorite show's on. You don't want to miss it, but they say it's time for bed, so you go to bed without complaining. Is that good self-control? Yeah, because you could be like, I don't want to go to bed. My favorite show's on and talk back, but you just go to bed. What's your reward?
Move forward 3 spaces.
Move forward 3 spaces. Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's close to the edge.
Yay!
Ooh, Cassie.
The other team won the game and you're really frustrated. When you still get back to time that you know how to play the
Your team loses at the buzzer. That can make you real mad. But after the game, you still give the other team a high five and say good game. Is that good self-control?
Yeah.
Yes, that's good self-control. What's your reward? Move forward 3 spaces. Ooh, she's at the edge. Quinn.
You can't beat the level of your video game, so you feel like
Oh, you can't beat the level of a video game. You lose in Fortnite when you're in the second spot. You only get second, and you throw the controller. Good self-control. What's your reward? Move back 2 spaces. Quinn, are you getting frustrated?
yes.
But she has good self-control. She's not yelled at me yet.
Yes.
All right, let's see. How about you read yours first, Quinn?
Huh?
Go ahead, read it first.
You goof off during a small group and refuse to listen to your leader when
That sounds normal. Quinn talking while I'm talking. Just kidding. What's your reward? Is that good self-control to talk while someone else is talking? Yeah. No. What do you have to do? Move. Move back 2 spaces. Are you mad? Self-control though. Is she having good self-control?
No!
Yeah!
No.
Move forward 6. Don't have a good self-control during the game. Good. All right, Patsy. Read yours.
Your sister is annoying and you are on a long road trip, but you choose to listen to the music that is playing that.
You're on a long road trip. You have your headphones on, but your brother or sister's beside you going, being so annoying. So instead of yelling at them, you just turn your music up and zone them out. Good self-control? Yeah! What's the reward?
You could break your eardrum.
Move forward 2 spaces. 1. All right, let's see if Weston can tire.
You think it's totally unfair that your mom is making you finish your homework before you can play with your friends, but you do it without complaining.
Oh, you have to finish your homework, but your friends are outside waiting for you. But you finish your homework without complaining. Self-control?
No.
Yes. What's the reward? All right, so that means Cassie and Weston, you guys are tied for first. Congratulations. Quinn.
Mom, I don't
good self-control. You have good self-control. I did that on purpose because I wanted to show them what good self-control looks like. Thank you. You guys can have a seat. Boys and girls, let's go back to our main idea. Shh. We're almost done. Boys and girls, shh. We're almost done. Think before you lose your temper. It's easy for something to happen for us to get mad. But with God's help, with God's power, we can have good self-control. Our hands be full. Our heads be bowed. It's time to talk to Jesus now. Dear Jesus, thank you for this day. Thank you for the boys and girls who are here today. I pray, God, that you help us have good self-control, to do what we should even when we don't want to. God, and it's easy to get mad, lose our temper at our brothers and sisters, moms and dads, teachers, friends at school, our video games, the TV, the computer, our phones. We can get mad at so many different things. But God, when we do feel like we're getting mad, we have good self-control to not lose our temper. It's okay to be mad. Mad is an emotion you gave us. But being mad and being bad with it, not okay. So help us not lose our temper and control our feelings. In your name we pray. Amen. Thanks for watching our video today. If you liked what you saw, make sure you click like down below and subscribe to KidsPoint TV. Also hit that little bell icon, that way you can be notified anytime we upload a video. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.